Hey guys, I'm Alan Stulberg. This is the Handbuilt Show 2018, brought to you by BMW Motorcycles, and this live stream is brought to you by Progressive Motorcycles. I'm here with Bill Withers. Is it
Yes.
Bill Withers?
Well, I like to be called William.
William Withers. Just joking. This is Craig Rodsmith and his incredible shiny motorcycle that he's just completed.
Well,
Literally
almost.
like
It's
48
almost
hours ago.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's almost done.
It's yeah. For the most part, it's completed.
So the way I decided to go with this was Craig and I had been chatting about the build that he was going to bring to the show, and I tried not to look at the social posts or the other stuff that he'd shown me. I knew from what he'd sent that it was certainly going to be something we were wanting to show, and I relied heavily on my trust in him that he was going to get it finished. I knew he would, and of course he showed up actually right on schedule where he needed to be. But I don't know anything about this motorcycle. I knew the platform. I didn't know what he was going to try to attempt to do as far as the technical parts. I had no idea. So we're going to talk about this in real time. I'm going to try to figure it out. Anyway, so can you just tell me what you wanted to do? What were you trying to accomplish? Tell us the basis and all that.
Well, the thing is, this engine and transmission, I've got a bit of history. This is the first motorcycle I built when I came to America almost 25 years ago. It was my 74 Electra Glide. And I didn't ride that much. And I'm like, if I turn this into a cafe racer, I might ride it more often and have some fun.
So wait, this is literally your motor?
Yeah, I built this motor almost 25 years ago.
Okay, and that would have been a 1200.
Yeah, it's a 1200 74
okay.
Electra Glide.
Harley Davidson, for those who don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And I've got a nice, the gears, Andrew, close ratio, ratchet top transmission. And so I thought originally I was just going to take a shovel head frame and do the usual bolt-ons and bodywork and everything. Well, I end up with a 1098 Ducati frame. So I'm like, why don't I cut the front and back off?
So you literally use just the middle part, so the spine part is Harley Davidson perhaps?
Is Harley Davidson,
Yeah,
The center of the frame is Harley. So, I cut it off. And
then we end up with this single-sided swing arm.
Yes.
Off the Ducati that you somehow managed to polish, which I can't imagine how easy that was.
I have a little bit of experience with polishing.
Yeah, you are good with the polishing. I've
yes,
noticed this.
yes.
Oh God, you were really dirty when that was done. You had to have gotten dirty.
Yeah.
So we've got an oil tank here.
Yeah, well, I incorporated the rear seat. I made the bodywork, tank and everything is monocoque. And so with a Harley, obviously, dry sump, you need an oil tank.
Yep.
So I want to keep a lot of mechanicalness about it, so that's why I've got external hard lines for the oil tank, and
we've got an LED taillight.
LED taillight.
That's liquid cooled.
A liquid cooled.
It's got to be. Yeah, oil cooled.
So I had to run that through. That was a little tricky.
I can imagine.
Is
it holding oil? Actually. Do we know yet?
Yeah, it does.
It's not leaking on the ground. Harleys don't do that.
Well, when a Harley doesn't leak oil, that means it's empty.
Oh, that's true. So, that's why I asked. I didn't see it under the box, possibly. So there's something extra over here. That's not supposed to be there.
Yes, it is. This is
neither is this SU carb.
Yeah, well, it used to be on the other side, but to get my plumbing for the plenum, this is a supercharger.
Oh,
is what this is. And what this does,
it's off of a Mini, isn't it?
This is actually.
Which one is this?
It's off a Subaru.
A Subaru supercharger.
It's a Aisin AMR 500.
Okay.
And what this does, this charges the motor with super.
Super.
So this is why
full of super. This motor.
This is why it's called a super bike.
Oh, see, I always wondered what that meant.
Right.
Now you're teaching me.
That's what it is. So,
sorry, I'm keeping you looking at all the details. I see a little Ducati here, and then I see this giant, massive dry belt clutch system.
Yeah,
what the hell is that?
Well, I want to run a belt drive, which I had on my original Electra Glide. That way I can get rid of the oil bath primary, less oil leaks, not end the oil leaks, but just less oil leaks.
Right.
And then I just run the dry clutch, 5-finger studs, five finger
and an
hub.
actual electric starter because you just don't want to have to kick this thing.
Well, look at me, I'm 160 pounds.
But we've even got a spring over here.
Yes. Well, I wanted to keep the old mechanicalness in the middle.
I'm with you.
And it's like it's the best of both worlds, or maybe the worst of both worlds.
I was going to say, right now, because of the way what I'm looking at, this is going to be the world's loudest motorcycle.
Yeah, it's well.
Supercharger. For those that are watching, obviously Craig and I are joking a bunch, but in truth, I know what I'm looking at. I just saw it, but I know what I'm looking at. And this thing is going to be, he did not finish the exhaust, so there's no mufflers on it.
Oh no, the exhaust is the only thing that's finished.
You're going to leave it this way?
Yes.
With no bite?
Well, with the supercharger, you want a lot of flow out of the exhaust.
You just can't be serious. I know what you're saying, but I know, so if you have a turbo bike, the turbo acts as a natural muffler.
Right.
It keeps it quiet. It adds boost and gives you obviously more pressure than a combustion chamber. But with a supercharger, you don't get that muffling effect because the exhaust blows straight out of the cylinder. So this bike with no muffler on it is going to be hellacious. You're not going to ride it.
It's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to ride it.
I want to ride it.
Of course you can ride it.
Tell me a little more. Where do these brakes from?
Well, I've got some Hayes, Hayes 4-piston calipers on there.
BMW. I love those.
Yeah, I haven't used any. I haven't had a bike with them. I hear they're fantastic.
We've had it on the track with the BMW S1000.
I like
170 miles an hour. Yeah, fantastic. Really good.
This might go faster than that though. So
oh, really? It's going to break 170?
I doubt it.
Yeah. At Coda. Out of the back straight. Yeah, I can see that.
What should handle
Dude,
okay?
This is gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
Like, really.
Some of this I wasn't sure about. I messed with this screen, which I want to add some more on here. I've got a thing about aircraft theme. Windshield.
But I actually like, and maybe you intend to polish this, but I like that this is not polished.
No, I originally polished this, and I think to give the division with the brush finish and the polish here.
And the brass screws. It's just a nice slotted brass screw. It's good. What's this off of? Looks like a helmet shield or something.
This was actually a little bikini fairing I found on eBay in China. And it had the perfect color, the perfect shape.
Yeah.
So I ordered the fairing and just threw it away and kept the screen.
And you matches the Kineo wheels, I see.
Right.
Right. And then we've got a mag.
Yes.
Total magneto, right? Which you got to be the old school Harley guy.
Oh, I've got a lot of magnetos are just the coolest thing.
Yeah, I do.
And
I love when they're right, they're right.
I remember when I was younger, I had a magneto I bought for my Triumph.
Right.
And it was my first magneto. And somebody said, if you turn them over, they generate. So I never forget, I put my tongue on the electrode and spun it. You'll do that once.
You've had a lisp ever since.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing to do.
It's not a good idea.
Yes.
A 9-volt isn't anything on a magneto.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Dude, I really like the bike. In truth, Craig and I met. We did a TV show together. He was a contestant on a biker build-off show where I was the judge. And Craig was like probably the one guy in the show that walked up to me and apologized for what he'd done. Even though he built a gas tank out of aluminum from scratch in 3 days' time, that was perfectly acceptable. And that was it. I fell in love with the Australian. And man, I'm really glad that you're here. Last year was your first year at the Handbuilt show. What do you think about the show this year compared to last year?
Last year was fantastic. It was pretty hard to top, but this year, you've outdone yourselves.
Dude, the team, there's a big team of guys and gals that
was the
really
thing that I
hard
noticed yesterday. As you know, I was here yesterday, and like how a bunch of the builders were here, and like this is such an inclusive show, and it's like everybody was just here to help get ready, whether it was builders, guys from Revival or anything. And that's such a good feeling of community. And
even though I was yelling at everyone, it was okay.
Well, you sort of left me in charge at that point.
Yeah, well, I could see that you could lead them. Someone has to lead. You have that many people. You need more captains.
Well, that's when I knew you trusted me, or just didn't care.
I just didn't care.
That point.
No, I'm really it's good. Thank you for helping yesterday. It's definitely it's a labor of love. We all work our butts off. We can't wait. Someone said to me yesterday, on Monday it'll be 364 days minimum, or 362 days away from the next Handbuilt show.
So
I can't wait.
Yeah. So you're getting ready for next year's already?
Immediately. We're already trying to plan for next year.
I can imagine. I don't know how you pull this off.
Well, the truth is, what you said a while ago, it is an inclusive thing, and I can't include everyone. I wish I could include everyone.
Right.
The idea behind the live stream was specifically that, was to try to include people that could not be here, whether they're a builder or a fan or whatever, to kind of get a taste of it. So anyway, thanks for showing us this.
You're more than
Thanks for coming all the way from Australia.
Yes.
To be here.
New Zealand.
Ladies and gentlemen, William Withers. I think he's done with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll be back
Thank
on
you.
later. Again, live stream brought to you by Progressive. Thank you guys for supporting us. We'll see you guys in a bit.